Hi, I'm Mike Michelizzi, Director of Technical Services at Custom Building Products, and we're coming to you directly from Custom Technical University. In this edition of Custom's Top 5, we're going to give you the top 5 tips for how to install large format tile. In the world of tile, large is a relative term. It wasn't too long ago that an 8x8 tile was considered a large format tile. Today we see 16, 24, even 48-inch tiles in length, especially in commercial projects. Large format tiles today are not only just square tiles that are large in format, but the requirements now for large format tiles are any tile that has a length greater than 15 inches. So even a tile here with a smaller 8-inch size would be considered a large format tile. Because they're large format, all of the tips that we're going to show you will apply even to tiles of this size. In this edition of Custom's Top 5, we're going to give you the top 5 tips for how to install large format tile. Our number 1 tip for installing large format tile is always do an inspection of your floor. Make sure that it's the proper flatness before you begin. It's always best to do this with plenty of time in case leveling is required. Our current specifications for floor flatness are 1/4 inch in 10 feet with variations of no more than 1/16 of an inch per foot. But this standard was based on the idea that large tiles were only 8 inches by 8 inches. New requirements for flatness are 1/8 inch in 10 feet, and flattening the floor by filling low spots and removing high spots will significantly improve the final result as well as make your job a lot easier. Self-leveling and patch technologies have really advanced for thin floor preparation, as mortar beds are not usually an option. Our number 2 tip for installing large format tile is always use a medium bed mortar. These medium bed mortars are specifically designed to handle the 3/4 of an inch that you might have to build up under a tile in order to support it. They also can handle the increased weight that you get with a large format tile. And soon to come, all tiles over 15 inches will have to be installed with a medium bed mortar. Our number 3 tip for installing large format tile is use a larger notch trowel. It'll save you time and money. The cost difference between using a little more mortar with a larger notch trowel versus the time and effort wasted using a smaller trowel, such as a 3/8 notch trowel, is considerable. And since large format tiles require back buttering and require more mortar to achieve the minimum coverage, using the larger trowel will make it easier for you. Recommendations are 80% coverage for interior usage and at least 95% for exterior. Using a larger notch trowel will also help you to deal with slight variations in the substrate. Our number 4 tip for large format tiles is that tile dimensions are consistently inconsistent. When you look at the challenge of installing a large format tile, most people want a very, very tight grout joint. Now, as you can see in these tiles here, although being the same tile, they are very inconsistent in size. In order to have an acceptable installation and get a straight grout joint, you have to have a minimum of a 1/16 inch grout joint as well as 3 times the variance in the tile. Now when we look at these large format tiles, you can easily see that there is a variance in the size. In order to achieve that proper grout joint and in order to hide the variances in the tile, you have to go at least 3 times the size of the variance. So for example, if I had a 1/16 inch variance in my tile, my minimum grout joint width would be 3/16 of an inch. Always perform a mock-up with the owner before you install your tile. Our number 5 tip is the larger the format, the more variance you can expect in your tile. Current processes for porcelain tile manufacturing allow for a certain amount of warpage in your tile. And what you'll see is you'll see a certain amount of doming in the center of the tile, and the edges of the tile will be considerably lower. To check for this, take your tile and flip it upside down. Press on either side corner, and you'll see on a flat surface just what you're dealing with. Now, this certain type of doming that you'll see is easily evident, and what it does is, by installing these tiles in a brick pattern or a running bond pattern, what you'll do is you'll put yourself immediately out of tolerance, because the lower edges of the tile will now be much lower than the higher part of the tile. So always perform a mock-up and consult with your manufacturer, because technical committees and these manufacturers have now limited this tile offset to 33% or a third of the distance of the tile, as opposed to now putting it in half. So to have a successful installation, always check your tile warpage. Here at Custom, we're always trying to better support our contractors. As new challenges arise, we're going to address those in future editions of Custom's Top 5. Stay tuned.